Check 1 2. All right, friends, here we are back again. It's the Zim video. It's the Art Professors Podcast, season 2.5, summer edition, episode 76. I think this is the third episode of the summer edition. I don't know, whatever. Number 76. Here we go. I'm the Zim, aka Splat Dad. That's what I say on my gaming stream. But I'm the Zim, the Art Professor. We are here kicking it. I am living in Rochester, New York. I'll be teaching at Rochester Institute of Technology for the second year in a row this coming up school year, so that's pretty cool. So the way this, and previously I worked at Northwest Missouri State University. I worked at San Diego State University. I got my graduate degree at San Diego State. I got my undergrad at the University of Washington. That's about that's about what I have for my journey as an art educator and in art academia so far. So we'll see how it goes as time goes on, where I end up and all those things. But for now, we're, like I said, at Rochester Institute of Technology for the second year in a row. So the way the summer the summer episodes of the podcast work, we update you on the YouTube journey. That's a big part of the summer edition. We'll talk about a little bit of progress, a little bit of information about the professor journey, contracts and those kind of things. So we'll talk about that. There's a little update there to inform you about. There's also, I'll talk about my artwork, and then I'll talk about some life stuff and just some other random stuff. So let's get into it. First things first, YouTube, really overall, through all the subjects, everything that we're going to talk about today, the best way to define today's video or last week's moment was progress for everything. And it feels good. And we need this to be the benchmark. What happened this week has to be what happens way more often. But we have way too many moments of, flatlining, depression in terms of, physical and emotional, but also just kind of like overall the kind of idea of going backwards, of going down from where we were. We need to always be climbing. And I know there's like a ladder zigzag, there's that Z shape that goes, it happens in kind of a journey, but sometimes it flatlines in Z's rather than going up and Zing. So we got to keep it going. And I'll explain exactly all the things that happened this week that I'm really excited about for the most part. Feeling pretty good. First off, or also to remind you, tomorrow is No Kings marches around the country, No Kings protests. So make sure you're getting out there. Make sure you're joining your community. Make sure you're letting your voice be known that we are not happy about the state of our, current leadership and administration. I am physically disgusted by the idea that this administration wants a military parade in the kind of style of authoritarian Nazi Germany, North Korea, Russia, that authoritarian dictator type of kind of idea. It just makes me sick to my stomach that they want to have a military. It's just gross. It's gross. And if you don't understand the optics of it, you're part of the problem. This is what we were fighting against for 250 years. We've been saying we do not support this ideology, and now they want it. And all it is, the orange man, he thinks that shows strength, and it doesn't. He has no idea what strength is. He has no compassion, no empathy, no desire to serve. He has no desire to serve. He's a fucking asshole, and I hate it. Anyways, so a couple things. My emotions have been a lot more. My emotions have been a lot more like on the surface lately. They coming like when things that there's a moment that happened during one of my live streams where a viewer mentioned that her sister tried to harm herself, and even talking about it right now, the thought of thinking about the kind of pain that this person would be enduring to be even willing to consider self-harming. They, as far as I know right now, they're okay. They went to the hospital. They're okay. Everything's fine at this point. But the idea that there's that much pain in our society as a world society, you know, and what's happening right now with, you know, immigrants and disparaging the LGBTQIA plus community, including the trans community, disparaging, you know, people of color, disparaging, you know, everyone, and the immigrants especially right now. It's like, it's all just a white supremacist move. It's not, they're not trying to keep the world safer or the society safer. They're just using that talking point of they're criminals, which they're not, to incite fear and give them justification to oppress and to be, you know, just evil. Just to do things to get rid of more brown people. It's clear. And this act to try to, this deliberate and intentional willingness to say things and do things in such a way that you will refuse to acknowledge how crude, how mean, how disingenuous you're being. I mean, listen to I don't even know who, like Mike Johnson, or who's the current Speaker of the House. Listening to him talk is the most vile thing. One of the most vile. He is the most disingenuous human being on the planet. He's got to know. I mean, he's got to know what he's doing. He's trying to speak within an agenda of this purity of an idea which he does not follow. It's just gross. He tries to be a Christian person, and Jesus and the idea of religion and Christianity should be just revolting against these concepts that's happening in our society right now. It's just disgusting. And I'm so angry about it. And my emotions, as you've heard over the months, if you've been paying attention to this podcast and this conversation, it's just really, really hard for me to tolerate what's happening. It's just, like I said, I think I said last week, it feels like we just lost the game. The buzzer just went off, and there's nothing we can do but wait and train until the next game, until the next year. The championship season is over. We were in the championship game. We were 1 point away from winning, but we lost. And now we just have to endure that pain of losing and just get back to work. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like our society is in right now. We've lost. We have to endure the pain of loss, and we have to get back to work. And unfortunately, so many people are getting hurt because of that loss, because of the bad choices by a lot of our society, people that regret their votes, people that are, you know, a lot of people are getting hurt because of that choice, those choices. Whew. Intro to the stream. Okay. So that's kind of, I don't even know where that all started from, but what we will talk about now is the YouTube journey. So the beginning of the podcast, we talk about the YouTube journey. Currently, a couple really awesome, one significant milestone for me as a content creator. My YouTube passed 9,000 subscribers this week, which is really cool. Mainly, I mean, it's the 9,000 itself isn't cool. Like, I'm not excited about 9,000. Like, who cares? But it's the idea that we're less than 1,000. We're less than 1,000 subscribers away from 10,000. That 10,000 milestone is one that I am excited about, and so we should hit it pretty soon in terms of respect. You know, respectively. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, there's another word. I can't think of it. So we should hit it pretty soon. Relatively, that's the word I'm looking for. Relatively soon, as far as my channel has gone. I mean, I've been grinding at this. Basically, my channel's been alive since 2007, but I didn't use it for like 7 years. And in 2014 is when I really started using it. And so ever since 2014, so it's been 11 years of trying to figure something out and trying to do it in a way that makes me feel good, you know, and trying to share my story. And hopefully whatever it is about my story, hopefully something about my story and my journey and my ideas and my thoughts are what inspire people to want to support and follow and do that. And so, and grow it and help make it sustainable. And because it is it is something, it's not just, I mean, it's a piece of artwork, you know, it's an expression of creativity. It's a piece of artwork. It's those things, which is important. But luckily for me, it also can generate a sustainable lifestyle. It can generate some income. It can help support all the creative endeavors. And once I started to notice that, I was like, I've been all in, just trying to figure it out. And it's slow, but hey, we're getting there. So last week we had 8,927 subscribers. This week we have 9,021 subscribers. That's a plus 24. So same as last week. We were plus 23 the week before. So we're getting almost 100 subscribers a week, which is kind of cool. I mean, again, like I said last time, we need 100 subscribers a day. So hopefully we can get there. The channel members at this moment is 208. That was a plus 9 since last week. So that's pretty cool. My ultimate goal is to get 1,000 channel members. That's what I want, 1,000 channel members. So we're going to keep getting there. I know on the screen it says 250. So there's some developments in the YouTube world. One of the main developments is, so I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I've talked about this before. I've talked about the idea. And I was going to wait till that 250 mark hit before I initiated the giveaway. But because of the next thing I'm going to talk about in my agenda today, I'm able to I'm able to start the giveaway sooner than waiting for that mark of 250 members. So we're going to do that. So at the end of the month, hopefully I'll initiate the giveaway. There'll be a bunch of stuff. I'll be creating a, announcement video that people can share. So there'll be, the way it's going to work. I think I explained this last week was we'll do a live. I've refined it since last week. There's only going to be one event. I was thinking about it, I'm starting to make things confusing. So how to minimize confusion. One event. There'll be one event, one maybe hour-long event. Maybe the stream will be 2 hours, but the event will be the first hour of the stream. I'll do a one live stream event. Those that can join it during the live stream, great. You don't have to join it during the live stream, but I'm trying to inspire people to actually show up for the live stream. The first hour of that live stream, I'll be dropping clues every 10 minutes. So 6 clues or something throughout the hour. At the end of the hour, I will then explain how you need to use the clues. I'll give you some questions. You will then email me in a list of criteria, including your address, so I can mail you prizes and your t-shirt size. And if you want the grand prize or not, I'll give the option to opt out of the grand prize, which most people probably wouldn't do. But some people already, and the grand prize is a Nintendo Switch 2 console, having a lot of fun with it, and potentially more. So once the event initiates, part of it is going to be if we achieve certain goals before the drawings of the names, we will increase the prize pool. So we'll see what happens. So basically it's right now, if everything stays as it is right now, we'll have grand prize Nintendo Switch, and then I have a few other prizes that I will be giving away, gift cards and mechanical keyboards. If we get 500 channel members by the time of the drawing, 480, 490, it was fine, close enough. Then I will purchase another Switch 2 to give away. So there'll be 2 Switch 2s to give away. If that happens and the channel also achieves 20,000 subscribers, I will add a third Switch 2 to the prize pool, and there'll be 30 total prizes. So basically, once we initiate the giveaway, once it's initiated and I have the prizes, I'm announcing everything about it on an official, like, this is happening, then I'll give some, incentives to boost up the support for everything. And even if it's like I was thinking about, even if nothing happens like to support the overall stream or the overall channel and outlet, then at least it's just basically a thank you to my current audience. It's like, thank you for being part of my audience, and I appreciate it. I see you, and those kind of things. But if it does increase, then it's like, okay, great. It also helped the stream. So we'll see. Hopefully it does. Fingers crossed. But that's where that is. So I guess that covers the YouTube journey. The other thing that's happened this week sort of is our first real trolley kind of moments. We got people starting to impersonate my account, and you might have seen this last night. I posted a video about, I got an email from another content creator saying, hey, somebody's jumped in my lives being, saying not good things in the chat and stuff, and it was you, or they're impersonating you. Thought I'd let you know. I was like, oh, I told them, yeah, they showed up in mine. I blocked them, and I'm sorry that happened. But unfortunately, what I've heard from other content creators when I watch it is there's really nothing you can do. You can block them. You can go to their thing and report them. But unless there's a mass reporting, like hundreds of people or whatever, nothing will happen. 1-2 reports is just like whatever. It's like and I don't have the audience. I don't have hundreds of people that'll report people. So it's just kind of like, it's just part of the deal. So either they're going to get bored soon, because I really don't have that big of an audience to merit that degree of trolling. For somebody to make fake accounts based on my kind of, platforms, that's a lot of effort for not a lot of return. Because it's not like they're going to fake out thousands and hundreds of thousands of people to believe that I'm actually that person, because I don't even have that kind of audience. Whereas some of the bigger content creators have. That's what happens. People get faked out. They think it's the actual person, and then they get extorted, and there's different things based on them using fake accounts. So they'll hopefully just get bored and go away, or it could be the sign that my content and my platforms are starting to get to the size that this will be the norm. It'll be normal to get the trolls that try to knock you down and try to do things, because that's people can't handle. People just can't handle that idea that people can't handle other people's success. They really want to just knock you down. And thankfully, I think I've trained myself. There's elements when it happens, there's elements I get a little anxious. I'm like, I hope they can't actually hack into my account. Like there's an anxiety about the actually using my accounts, like my real accounts, to do something nefarious. And that's or something, or like digging in somehow. But if they're just creating something with my, profile picture and some name that looks like mine, then that's whatever. And there's, it's kind of a thing. But, it could be the sign that's, we're starting to get to that level that kind of thing will just happen. And thankfully like what I was saying was, I feel like I've trained myself to be ready for it. Like, I don't mind trolls. I love trolls. I want more trolls. I'm honestly surprised that I don't get more trolls. Like, at times where I say what I support, my progressive ideology, my viewpoint on the world, my way of thinking, I'm like, man, I hope this brings out the trolls because we want to boost this. It's like we want to boost it because it's like maybe it's because I'm just not affected by it. Maybe if I showed a little bit more that I get affected by the trolls, that it would bring more trolls. But it's like there's like I just don't engage. I don't entertain them. I just like, and so maybe it's like it's kind of known that, oh, we're not going to get what we want out of this, so we're not going to try that hard potentially, or they can tell, like Zim's not going to be the kind of person that'll fall for our shenanigans in a sense. But I would love thousands of trolly people to come through my channel because that would just boost the algorithm and send it out to more people, and then eventually we would find the audience that actually wants to be there in a authentic and pure way. I mean, I'm surprised, honestly surprised. I look at my YouTube stats in a sense, or my views, my count, my content channel part, and on the side of it, there's a column that says how many likes it has, and they have a percentage of likes. They don't tell you like the amount of dislikes. They just say there's the percentage of likes versus dislikes. And it's not 100%. Like it's not, for what I believe the size of my content, my platform is really small. To have people not like anything that I'm making is really telling about that person. Like they must not really like themselves very much at all. Like, because I am nothing. I am a speck on the content creator spectrum. I'm not even close to having any kind of reputation that grants like a desire to be trolly toward me in a way like that. So the fact that I get as many thumbs down, in a sense, dislikes on my content as I do is like, wow, that's interesting. I mean, you must really be hurting, and I'm sorry for you. Sorry you're feeling that way. So anyways, where were we at? So basically, I think I've prepared myself for the moment where we could start getting more trolls and more stuff. And basically, at this point, I have like a zero tolerance policy. If anybody comes into my streams or my chats or my comments and supports the Orange Man, done, ban. It's just like helping me weed out everybody I don't want to be a part of my community. You're just helping me weed you all out. I'm not going to engage with it. So if you come with an authentic curiosity and you're like, I don't see life the way you do, Zim, but I want to ask you some questions. Great. You can ask me questions. But if you come in, you're a libtard or whatever, or you're stupid, or if you come with any derogatory language right out the gate, I'm not even going to give you the time of day. And unfortunately, that's what most of the conversation starts like. They just start it with and they wonder why there's a divide. They wonder why it's like, don't start the conversation with a derogatory statement. Come with curiosity. And then maybe something might manifest. And 9 times out of 10, the side, I mean, you either get the extreme leftists that get derogatory really quick, or you get the pretty much any conservative. So it's just kind of like there's this little pocket of kind of people that will come with curiosity and want to learn. And the irony of it, if you come with curiosity, you will quickly not there's no way you can hold on to a conservative viewpoint if you have an ounce of curiosity in your mind, in your body, in your soul. There's no way because then you would quickly learn, you would quickly empathize with other people. You'd go like, oh, the policies that I believe in, the policies that I'm supporting are hurting you. And if you have any degree of soul and any degree of heart, any degree of love in your life and your soul, it would be impossible for you to retain your viewpoint of conservative viewpoint, because it would just you would be it just yeah, it just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. You can't have curiosity and care and compassion and maintain the 2025 Western society definition of conservative ideology. You can't retain it. It's impossible. All right, moving on. So the news today, or I got this week, as far as my contract with work, was I ended up getting, so the way they decided to do it, so it did. So last week, I think I told you, or recently I told you that I was offered a, what did I call it? An overload on my contract, in a sense, on my classes. So I can teach more classes and get more money. And I told you the amount, it was $4,200 per class. So for the 2 semesters, I can get up to $8,400, which I really want to happen so badly. And then I was telling you, well, it would be great if they like also offered me like a raise as well. And that's essentially what they did in this way, but they did it in a way as a bonus. So I'm getting $5,000 bonus. They're calling it a retention bonus. So again, potential ways to help you if you are an art educator in the academia of university professorshipness and you're trying to navigate your own contracts. Maybe you can just add that language in of going like, maybe you're in a similar situation where you worked 1 year and you're like, I need to make more money, and you're asking for a raise. So you can say to your boss, can I get a raise, or do you have the ability to give like a retention bonus or something? Use that kind of language even. I didn't know that existed. I didn't know that. This is all speculation, what I'm about to say. But what I think, because they're giving a bonus and not raising the salary, it's easier for them to navigate for their bookkeeping and what they like as this track of professor, this visiting faculty or whatever it is. We want to keep them within this salary range, so they can still say my salary is X, which right now is $54,000. That's my salary, $54,000. Hopefully I'll have the two what's it called? What did I just say? I just told you. Overload classes. So that'll raise it up. What was that? 84. So that'll raise it up to $62,400. And then I got a $5,000 bonus. So $67,400 could potentially be sort of my year-end salary in a way, but they're putting the bonus on the end of this contract. So I should get the bonus. They said their bonus is coming next paycheck. The end of this month, we get paid twice a month. So that's what I heard. That's what they said. So they're putting it at the end of this cycle, sort of, and then the beginning of the next one will be the same salary with the potential. And I don't know. I asked my boss as well, like, what does the overload look like on the contract? Do I get my main contract and then they give me like a separate contract for the overloads? Or do we agree on the overloads at the beginning of the contract? Like, I imagine it's I imagine it's like a separate contract, but I don't know. Never done it, so I'll teach you and share that information with you as we go. So, and again, don't be fooled. I mean, it's great, 5,000 plus, but this is like still not sustainable. So don't be fooled. Just because it's great. I'm not at all. I don't want anybody to think, oh wow, you're making more. No, all this money is already gone. I'm gonna have to move. That's gonna wipe out the vast majority of that 5,000. And luckily, if it's actually coming at the end of this month, it'll help me move. I'll have the deposits. I'll have that first and last month stuff ready to go, so I won't have to stress So it's already gone. It's not at all like I can just go like, oh, okay, great, I'm feeling life is good. It's not even, in order, and so it's not, I mean, it's a celebration of, yes, this is great, but it's also like, it's still not enough. Just to be straight, we need to get up to $100,000 range to make a sustainable living in America. So if you're making anything less than $100,000, you'll still be struggling unless you have zero expenses and you have other support somehow. Like you're living with somebody else, you're doing something. So yeah, we're still not in the range of ability to relax. I can relax a little bit more, hopefully, but look what it requires though, right? I now have to teach more, which I don't mind. I went over last week. It's easy for me. I love it. I'm okay with it. But it's not like, it's not like I'm making more at what I did last year and it's like I can relax. It's like, okay, you get offered a little bit more, but now you have to do more work. So it's like, is the trade-off worth it? Luckily, it's teaching art, which is awesome and easy and amazing. So I'm all in for it. So we'll just keep it going. So that's the update there on the contract. I still haven't gotten the actual contract. I emailed my boss and said, okay, thanks for that. That's awesome. Can you answer a couple of questions? When am I going to get my contract, for one? And then that question about the overload versus the regular contract. I haven't heard back, so we'll see. Anyways, all right, moving on. Let me know if you have any questions about that. You can find the YouTube channel and post in the comments on YouTube. Artwork. Oh, yes. We finally have started putting ink on the wall. Those of you that are watching the channel, watching the video, I'm turning the camera here just a little bit. So we finally are putting ink on the wall and I'm so excited. They're looking so good. It's going to fill up that whole, I'm so excited about this piece. Just got to keep grinding it out. So that's the little faces I'm making. Basically there's, what did I say? 60 faces. There's around 60 faces. I did a little math on my live stream the other day. And there's about 60 faces. It takes me about a half hour per face, and then there'll be I'll have to fill. So I'm going to do every face first. Just there's going to be a bunch of faces. Then I'm going to fill in shoulders and arms and hands that are in there as well. But we're going to do every face. There's a central part of color. I'm going to be doing metal leaf on it. And then once all of that's done, there's this big section in the middle with some words that'll go in it. And then and then after I'm kind of done that, I'll be fitting in other words, other things, and messing with it. But just the faces all by themselves, it's about a half hour per face. There's about 60 faces. So, we're looking at 30 hours of work just on that. So we're looking at between 30 and 50 hours to complete this. So, and I'm just going to start, I feel like I'm going to start finding more times to work on it, on weekends and things, Saturdays and Sunday nights. I'll turn on the live stream and just be drawing faces. And the last live stream I had was really great. People were in the chat talking to me about the artwork. So hopefully that can happen more. But it feels really good to get that going and be putting marks on the paper. And so we're looking forward to that journey and seeing how it continues. So that's where we are with the artwork. So we're just going to keep, and it feels like the idea of doing that also makes me feel justified by not doing, not going out, not doing anything else. Making the artwork really helps me justify just that I'm being kind of a recluse this summer, kind of a hermit. I'm just really just not doing stuff externally really at all. I'm just let me just make this piece of artwork. Yeah. It'll be interesting. I feel like there's a potential. So I've done this before where I've used classmates in my artwork, faces of people. And nobody said to me, I wish you didn't do that. Nobody said, they were all like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? It's like they really liked that it was done that way. And I had another colleague of mine that knew me from San Diego State said, I'm looking forward to seeing more of that kind of work, like that they knew from back then. Like, when are you going to show like the future of the world in your work? Like you did with, like that kind of idea. And I was your students and those kind of things. I'm like, oh yeah. Well, I was like, oh, well, actually. And so this bottom corner right here is my students. And so there is a piece of me that is a little worried about some of my students being like, I don't want to be in the artwork, like one of them. But I don't know. If that should happen, I was thinking about this morning. I might just black them out. Just like let the artwork be active. Like if somebody says, I wish I wasn't, I'm already prepared to just take a piece of a paintbrush and just block it out. Just like, okay, you don't have to be in it, or maybe get a sticker, like a smiley. Oh yeah, maybe I could make some kind of like levity with it in a way and just put like a smiley face sticker, or put some kind of like maybe my goodbye kitty stick. I make a I don't know. I could just stick something on it. Oh, that reminds me. I need to put my triangle, my rectangle of my white paper rectangle in the corner. So that's my one concern is that. But then my other slight concern is it's going to be very, leftist politically, left-leaning politically. I mean, it's like about community. It's about supporting each other. It's about diversity. It's about equity. It's about all the things the right conservative agenda does not like. And so it's going to have an agenda. And my goal is to put this piece up. I'm working on this piece for the faculty exhibition at RIT. So it'll be a big, loud piece that could ruffle some feathers. And that's the point. I mentioned this already before, but it's like, because of what's happening in our society right now, it's like, how are we individually reacting to it? And I think I sort of subconsciously am reacting to it, but I'd like to believe I am an artist. This is what we do. We self-reflect on why we're doing the things we do. That's what makes you an artist. And on the self-reflection of thinking about this piece, and it's like, it is a direct reaction for me to the state of the world. And it's like, I want to get louder about my viewpoint, my stance, my desire to love and support my communities. And one of the ways as an artist to make a statement and get loud is to get big. And it's a pretty freaking big piece. I mean, it's for what I can do, it's like 120 inches wide by 100 inches tall. So it's a pretty nice sized piece. So it'll make a nice little statement when it's all done. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be cool. I like the idea of it. I'm really excited about it. I mean, it's so, like, I've said this before. Today's I said this before day. Maybe that's the title. No, the title of the podcast is No Kings Reminder. But I've said this before. But when I'm drawing, when I'm making my pieces, it really does feel like this weird alchemy. It's like you're creating something from nothing, or like, it's like the idea, it's such a magic. And I surprise myself. One of the things I've noticed too, like I was thinking about this. Oh, what is the math? Let's do some math real quick. So we have, how many portraits have I drawn to date, basically? So we've done the 100 self-portrait project, 100, plus the 116 Ketanji Brown Jackson, plus the 141 Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, plus the 47 Kamala Harris, plus the 50 trans, plus, that equals That's 454 right there. I mean, I'm just gonna say 200 of just like portraits by Zim. 800 portraits. I thought there was more. There's got to be more. I must have done more. I did a bunch on these scrolls. I've done a lot. I'm gonna say 1,000. I'm gonna say between 800 and 1,000 portraits at this point. 800 to 1,000 portraits. So, and I'm still not at the point where I feel like ultimately confident. I feel like I'm another 1,000 portraits away from feeling like I'm sort of a master at it. But let's see what that is. Like 1,000, 1,000. So we're not even close to the 10,000 hours. But I feel like I'm achieving a degree of mastery, because the bottom line is, when I'm drawing now, when I'm doing these, they just happen. It's like there's elements, there's like parts of the drawings I was thinking about. Like there's things that I noticed that happen like on every drawing. I mean, you can see it right here, like in this crease below your nose, and there's this triangle of white right there. There tends to be this triangle of white underneath your eyebrow. There's like the white of the eyes is important. There's just certain things, the corners of the mouth. There's like the shadow under the nose. There's just things that like you just start to, that little triangle of darkness under your lower lip. There's just things that like every portrait has, in a sense. It's like these are, and so once you start, as long as you get kind of the proportion, and then it's like the width of the nose. I was thinking about, like, I've discovered there's this, you just put a white spot on the tip, white spot on the two nostrils, and then as long as you have the width of the nose right, that's all you need. Just the white spots and the width, and then the dark spots where the nostrils are, in a sense. And there's just like certain things it's just like I'm understanding how to achieve this look faster and easier and subconsciously. And it was happening for me while I was doing, and the technique I use of like sort of negatives, of like kind of subtractive drawing in a way, like the mindset of subtractively drawing, even though I'm adding. So, I basically gray it all out, in a sense. I put the dark tones in and the gray tones in first, and then I go back and put the white tones in as like, and in my mind, I see it as like a remove, like the white is my eraser. Like I'm going back to the paper, but it's just I'm adding the white. So that's the way I think of it. It's just like subtractive method. And then so once I start subtracting, adding the white, it really starts to bring that image in shape. Like, because sometimes at a point in the gray, you're like, it just looks messy. But then when you bring that white back in, it kind of like, oh, there's the face. That's the face I've been looking for. Those are the droids. These are not the droids you're looking for. So I just feel like this degree of like subconscious mastery at times with it, and it's kind of like amazing. It still amazes me. It's awesome. It's like, that's the feeling. That's like the euphoria of making work for me, is like going like, wow, I did that. I actually made a face that I recognize, I mean, sometimes things don't work out and you have to tweak it and you're trying to fix it, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. And I just got to trust, I tell myself all the time, just trust the process. There's like, sometimes I look at it, I'm like, I'm not going to be, I'm probably going to mess it up. I'm probably going to screw it up. Probably not going to, and I'm like, dude, I say that to myself all the time, and then it comes out amazing. So just trust the process. Just don't even worry about it. Just don't stop thinking about it, whether or not it's going to work out. And then there's the other part of it. Like, I'm not attached to it looking like the person. I mean, I guess I am a little bit, because let's say, so there's 25 people on this corner. If, 70% of them look like the person and the other 30% don't, then I feel like that's successful. The fact that most of them look like the person and a few of them don't, makes the few that don't look more like the person. But if they all don't look like, if you're trying to draw somebody that's known and you just can't figure out who it is, then maybe you weren't that successful. But if you can look at it and go like, oh, that's Barack Obama. Oh, that's some famous actor. Oh, that's Desmond Tutu. You know, it's like, oh, you see the person. Oh, that's a self-portrait. Oh, I see you in it, Zim. That's you. You know, it's like, so as long as you can kind of see it. And I've noticed as well that there's an essence of a portrait. Like, even if you don't hit the reference perfect, and once you take the reference away and you're like, oh, that I see that person I'm trying to draw, even though it didn't match the reference. So that's what you gotta kind of recognize as well. I don't know. I've recognized. All right. So that's the artwork. So I'm excited. I'm so stoked. I just want to like keep going. I'm ready to keep going. The hard part though too. So one of the things blue sky, I really want to get I hope at some point in my life, hopefully not too far down the road from now, I can move into a sort of a warehousey like space that I can kind of do what I want in. And one of the things I want to do is like, I'd like to keep working on large scale pieces and make like a wall. This is my thought. Chuck Close had, when he had a medical condition. I forget what it was, but he ended up being wheelchair bound and stuff. But he had this wall that went into the floor and up, and he could move it up and down. So he didn't have to, move as much. It could just, the wall itself moved. Well, I want to do something similar. My vision is like, if I'm in this warehouse space, I'll make a platform that raises me up a little bit, and then the wall will be next to the platform, and then I can raise and lower that wall next to the platform. So it's not like going into the floor. It's just like I've made this stage, this platform that gets me a little bit taller, and then I can lower. Because the hardest part, and it happened on this piece over here as well, just the bottom row, just being kind of hunched over and trying to draw in that kind of space. So if that was up at a place where even if I'm still sitting, but it's just like right here instead of down here, that would be ideal. So the bottom row, I'm going to do the bottom row first over here, and I'll get that out of the way. And then the next kind of row up, and as we go up will be a lot easier. But that bottom row, it's just because the angle too, it's just kind of like the thing. All right, we've actually put a lot of time into this podcast already. Last couple things. I bought a new interface for the audio. It turns out that's not the problem, because I'm still getting audio glitches. So the next thing to replace, which I'll do with my next paycheck probably, or maybe now, I'm going to replace this microphone. Basically, I'm going to buy the same one, but just newer, or the new version of the same one. They don't make this one anymore. This microphone is really old, so and then I'm going to replace the cables. So all the cables are going to get replaced. So, and I think I'm going to do that today. I can afford to do that today. I just got my paycheck. So about $200 will replace the microphone. And then we'll see from there. But essentially the only last thing that isn't getting replaced is I have this, those of you that are watching can kind of see it. I have this Zoom, it's called a Zoom V3 voice kind of thing. It gives me reverb, it gives me compression, it gives me some voice stuff when I'm recording. So I bypassed that when I was troubleshooting, and I still had the problem. So I was like, okay, I'm assuming it's not that. There's no anomalies in there. And since I'm still having little ticks and stuff, even with the new audio interface, I got basically the same one. So this is the old one, which I guess is still good, but I'm just not going to use it but essentially it's the same one, it's Behringer, but half as many inputs. It's only 2. So, which is cute, and it fits, because it's like smaller, it gives me a little more real estate on my desk to put other things. So I'm just going to use the smaller one because that's all I need. I'd never use anything other than 2 inputs anyway. So the 4 is not necessary for me. And so next thing is to replace the mic. I've had it forever. I've had it long enough that I actually replaced the bungee cords that are on the basket that the mic holds on. So we'll just replace the mic and see if that fixes my audio issues. But every once in a while I get these little ticks and I get little sounds and like weird stuff. So it could be the mic, I guess. I don't know. Could be a cable. So I'll replace the cables. I'll replace the mic. Yeah. there we go. All right, friends. Oh, okay. One last thing. I'm going to save for next week just because it's almost an hour. So that's it for today. Thanks everybody for joining. As always, be loving, kind, and patient. And let me know if you have any questions. YouTube is the best place to support. So we hopefully get your support on YouTube. Until next time, like I said, be loving, kind, and patient. Peace, my friends. Bye.